Yes, Manish, it is live now.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to announce my first book is coming very soon, and I have selected date that is the 6th March. Within the 2 and 3 days, that this book will be available for each and everyone. So today we are going to discuss about what is the inspiration, what is the story, and why I am writing book. And this book will help to home because it is a very you can say it is a technical issues book. It is not a uh, psychology book. It is not a book on the life how you have to win. It is not a motivational book. It is a technical book. Technical book means problem and difficulties of income tax. So income tax is the one thing that is the painful area for the every taxpayer, whether you are into job, whether you are doing any business, whether you have the any other source of income, like you have house property, you have let out all house property, you are receiving rent, then it's a common thing. There is a some question in your mind, like I have permanent account number, that is we say pan. So, Manish, I have pan, whether I have to file income tax return or not. Second question, sir, I have income but I have not applied pan card. Third question, sir, 2 years back, 3 years back, I've moved out of India. Like I have shifted USA, New Zealand, Dubai, China, Europe, any country. Now my status is not resident of India. Whether I am liable to file income tax return in India. Okay. Manish, I have lots of tax payable, like on salary income, on house property income. I have one, 2 and 3 activity of business activity. I have some capital gain activity, capital gain earning. So how I can save, how I can reduce my tax liability. So there is lots of the question. There is a one more more question is that you and me, we transfer some money to parent or wife, those who are not working, and we invest that particular amount like 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakh rupees in their name, parent ho, kids ho, yeah, spouse ho, and they are earning some bank interest. So it's mostly person is thinking whatever the income is earned by my wife, my parent, my kids, that is the my out of my income, then I will not file a return. Reason is that this investment in not in my name, but whether my wife or whether my parent is liable to file return. So there are various question arises in the income tax. So that I have tried to keep unsolved mystery of income tax in my coming book. So this is the my cover of my book. That is the name. That you can say the title. Title is Bajat Sabka Bachat Aapka. Budget means ki now we have seen in the month of the February, finance minister has presented budget. Budget is the you can say the accounting hisab and kitab. You can say that it is the Indian economy budget. Ki how India is collecting money as a tax or non-tax item, and how India as a country they are spending on infrastructure, on subsidy, on some other activities. So India will grow. So budget means ki budget is available for everyone, whether you are industrialist, whether you are the into job, whether you are into not taxpayer, because kahin na kahin you have the some connection with your with Indian budget. Like we have to pay GST, and if government is running some hospital, government is running some they are constructing road, so we are consuming, we are using that services, that facility provided by government. So it means the budget is for everyone, but whether you are receiving any saving, that is the Bachat for Bachat Aapka. So in this book I have explained lots of various aspects, but most important thing, decoding budget 2025. So whatever the relevant announcement, and that is the big relief for the taxpayer, that I have to explain. During the budget, finance minister has told that there is no tax up to 12 lakh rupees. So, but there is some situation where you can save your tax liability up to 24 lakh rupees, or even you have the business turnover of the 2 CR, so there will be no tax liability. So that I have to explain in my book. And I have kept one frequent asked question where lots of the question is asked by the taxpayer, and I have provided some simplified tax planning. So now I am going to describe how I have mentioned and what I have mentioned in my book. So there is this picture you will find out. There is a lots of the terminology like income tax return, previous year, assessment, gross total income, tax deduction at source, self-assessment, form 16, net taxable income. So there are various terminology is used by income tax department that is the mysterious for every common person. Reason is that every terminology has the own definition, and it's very difficult to understand by the common person. So in this book, I have tried to keep every definition of all terminology in very simple way. Like, what is the TDS? Suppose that you are not aware, okay, what is the TDS? So I have to explain. TDS is a amount that is the deducted, or that is the taken by those person who is paying to you. Suppose that I'm I'm giving the consultancy to you or your company. Okay, I'm giving the consultancy to your company, and I told that my consultancy fee will be 1 lakh rupees. So what I will do? First, I will raise one bill to you, and you are supposed to make payment to me. The income tax department is saying that if you are the business entity and you are paying something to any person, and there is some limitation, कि after that particular limit, if you are paying any business expenditure to any other person, so you have to deduct some taxes at the rate of the 2%, 1%, 10%. That will depend nature of the expenditure. That will depend nature of person to whom you are making payment. But you have to deduct some amount, and balance amount will be transferred to you. So that is the called TDS, tax deduction at source. But the amount is deducted from whole amount, where the amount is amount is rising. Like, I have generated bill to you and you have to make payment. So my money is coming from your company, my money is coming from your side. Okay, so that is the source. Um, you or your company is the source for my income. So when you are deducting any tax to comply your income tax provision, so that amount is the considered tax deduction at source. So there is a various other kind of the information like gross total income. What is the gross total income? As per Income Tax Act, there is the five category of income is described, like income from salary. When we are doing any job, suppose that I have joined as a lecturer, um, any university, college, or any educational institution, okay, or as being the chartered accountant, as being the engineer, as being the doctor, as being the government employee, I have joined somewhere. Whatever the amount I am receiving after completing service of the 30 days, okay, then that amount is called income from salary head. Again, I have the one house property where I have let out. I have the one house property I have let out, and I'm earning some rent. I'm earning some rent particular from Mr. X, Y, Z. So whatever the income is receiving by me, that is called income from house property. Third thing, when I'm doing some business activity, like I'm selling, I'm manufacturer, I'm the restaurant, I'm the contractor, I'm the any kind of the providing service like doctor, engineer, website designer, or consultant, any kind of the services. So whatever the money is received by me, so that income is tax income from business and profession. some other thing. I had one house property, I have sold it. I have sold it. Okay. So whatever the money is coming from the that selling activity, that is called income from capital gain. And how much head I have told to you? One, income from salary, income from business, income from house property, and last one, the income from capital gain. Apart from that, if you have the any other kind of the income, that is called income from other source. Like obviously बात है कि all our money or amount is kept in bank as a saving account, as a fixed deposit amount. So when we are earning some interest, it can be 1 rupees, it can be 100 rupees, it can be 1 lakh rupees, it can be 10 lakh rupees. So whatever the money is receiving from bank, that is called interest income. And interest income is not defined in all four category. Like it is not a salary income, it is not a house property income, it is not a business income, it is not a capital gain income. It means it when any income is not described, that is not fitted in all category, so that income is considered as income from other source. So when you have calculated all income, like I am doing job and my total income of the whole year is the 10 lakh rupees. I have the one house property where I have let out, I have the 2 lakh rupees as a house rent, and I have the some saving account where I am earning 5,000 rupees as a bank interest. So my what will be my total income? 10 lakh rupees salary income, 2 lakh rupees house property, and 5,000 is my interest income. It means ki my total income will be 12 lakh 5,000. So that 12 lakh 5,000 is called gross total income. And when we have made some deduction, like I have paid medical insurance, I have paid uh, kids education fee, etc. So from gross total income, I am making some deduction, then it's come net taxable income. So there are various other kind of the terminology that I have the defined in my book, in my upcoming book, in very simple manner. So other than commerce student or other than chartered accountant or advocate, they are not expert in income tax. They will try to solve. कि हाँ, अरे यार, this is the particular word I was not aware. Now, what is the this word and how it is the use? So that I have tried. And this is the this is the one page example of from my book. Like taxation is the essential part of the country economy, because without payment of the taxation, no country can survive, no country will develop. And understanding how income tax work helps the individual save money legally. And in the last, what is the total income? The total income referred to entire income an individual earns in a financial year from various sources according to the Income Tax Act. Income is classified into 5 main categories. ये कुछ आपको head और XYZ दिया हुआ. So this kind of the thing I have tried to explain. I have not mentioned any section, I have not mentioned any clause, I have not mentioned any act. Whatever the context or whatever the main crux of that section, that particular clause, I have I have written here without putting any clause, without putting any section, without putting any circular number. Reason is that as being the common person, it's very difficult to understand, and that is not relevant for the common person. Suppose that I am saying if total income is defined under section 232 and under bracket 24 under Income Tax Act 1961, whether it is the relevant for you? No, it is not relevant for you. It is the relevant for you कि what kind of the activity is considered as the total income. It is not relevant कि under which section. That is the part of the chartered accountant. That is the part of the professional. That is not a part of the individual person. So that I have tried to explain in a very simple word. There is the one most important problem or confusion. You have heard about previous year and assessment year. So everyone is the confused which year is called assessment year, which year is called previous year. So that you have to understand year is the period of 12 months. First thing, whether it is the assessment year, whether it is the previous year, whether it is the financial year, that is the year that include that is the period of 12 months. That is the one thing. Second thing, previous year or assessment year is start from the 1st April to 31st March. There is the two things. And most important thing is same period is considered, can we consider as the previous year as well as the assessment year. But that will depend for what particular purpose is saying. Like 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025. That can be considered as the previous year as well as the assessment year. But we have to discuss, this is the assessment year for the last year, this is the assessment previous year for the next following year. So that is a very difficult concept. So that I have tried to make explanation. This kind you have to, how you have to consider what is the previous year, what is the assessment year. Within the last 3 to 4 year, in the budget they have the explain, they have the introduce old tax regime, new tax regime. It means there was the taxation is done in the old tax regime, and there is a new tax policy, new tax liability calculation is introduced by Government of India, by Finance Ministry, that is called the new tax regime. Okay, so now everyone is confused. What I have to choose? Whether I have to choose old tax regime, whether I have to choose new tax regime. It is very difficult. It is very uh, misleading, or you can say it is very confusing. So that I have the put one example. Suppose that Mr. X, Mr. Tushar is the income of the 12,75,000 in the old tax regime, in that new tax regime, because your income will be same. But you have to consider whether I have to choose old tax regime, whether I have to choose new tax regime. So I have given the example, the same amount when you are earning and everything is the same. So old tax regime will be beneficial or new tax regime will be beneficial. So this kind of the example you will find out I have provided to you for your simple understanding, for your simple for your uh, clearing your doubt. So this kind of the example you will find out. Suppose that I have total 10 chapter. So in 10 chapter, at least you will find out 30 to 40 example where I have clarified what is the assessment year, what is the new tax regime, what is the old tax regime, how you will find out which tax regime is beneficial to you. So this kind of the various thing where you can identify yourself. Lots of person is confused. When I have the house property, this house property can be used for the self-occupied, like I have purchased the one house property, or my parent has purchased, or they have the construction, I am residing there, or I have let out. So whether I have to disclose in my ITR or not, if I have not to disclose, then how I can, how I have to pay the taxes if there is any tax liability. So, and I'm earning some rental income, so whether I'm eligible to get some deduction or not. So this kind of the issues is happening with everyone. So I have tried to solve all mystery related to house property. If when you are self-occupied, how you have to disclose, when you have the let out house, so how you have to disclose, what will be your tax liability, and after some year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, you have sold out, so what will be the capital gain, and that capital gain, how I can, you can reduce your tax liability, or how you can save your tax liability, or you can enjoy whole amount without paying tax. So there is the such kind of the tax planning I have tried to incorporate or introduce in my books. Lots of person is confused about which form I have to choose. Like in income tax, there is the various form like ITR 1, ITR 2, ITR 3, ITR 4. If I'm talking about the individual, like you and me, we are individual. We have the four form, ITR 1, ITR 2, ITR 3, and ITR 4. So which form is applicable in which condition? The income tax department has explained that if you have the salary income, then you can file ITR 1 or ITR 2. But along with salary income or without salary income, if you have business income, like you are manufacturer, you are trader, you are service provider, or you are providing any tuition income, or anything, tuition activity, then you cannot file ITR 1, you cannot file ITR 2. You have to choose from ITR 3 to 4. So I have explained in which situation what kind of the form is appropriate for your income, because it will depend which income is specified for which form. And after, once you have chosen your appropriate form, then what is the due date to file return, whether it is the 31st July, whether it is the 31st October, whether it is the 31st December. Suppose that as for the individual, I am saying last date to file the ITR is the 31st July, but due to some reason you forget to file, or you have filed your return, but after 10 days, 20 days, within the 1 month, you find out, yeah, I had disclosed my salary income, but I had some house property income that I have forget to file, or I have provided the information to professional who is assisting to file my return, but due to some reason he has not incorporated. Okay, then what kind of the situation, what kind of the option you are available? Then you can file your revised return, and your revised return can be filed before on or before 31st December of that particular year. Like I'm giving the one example ki now 31st December, 31st March 2025 is going to end. And after 31st March 2025, you have the time to file your ITR on or before 31st July 2025. Due to some reason, you have forget to mention some income, or you have not disclose, or your disclosure is lesser amount, like you have the house rent is the 1,20,000, but you have disclosed only 12,000 rupees. Suppose that you are fitting information और वहां पर 1,20,000 लिखना था, ड्यू टू सम मिस्टेक, क्लर्कियल मिस्टेक, यू हैव put it or you have written only 12,000 rupees, एक जीरो हट गया. Then after 10 days, after 31st July, you have find out, अरे यार मैं तो भूल गया. Then what kind of the option is available with you? Then you can file revised return, and you can mention actual rental income, so your income tax liability can be calculated very correctly. And if it is the payable, then you can file. Then so the choosing income tax form is the difficult, and what is your due date, that you have to understand. So that I have the mention with all example. And most important thing, we are confused. Everyone has the PAN, and PAN has the 10 character. Okay, so then is it the 10 word character? So how I can identify that this PAN is for individual XYZ? And if you have the PAN card holder, and your PAN has been issued 10 years back, so most probably on your PAN there is your photographs. But when you are reprinting, or any new person is applying for PAN card, then no photographs is appear on PAN card. So it's very difficult to identify. Even sometime in the new PAN card, they are not showing their name. They are disclosing only PAN. Okay. Then you have to understand. So I have the one particular chapter where I have the describe if when you will have any PAN, so how you can identify that this is the individual person, or this is the partnership company, or this is the private limited company. So that is the one identification process that is the shown in this particular photographs. So this kind of the thing I have tried to mention in my book. I have disclosed about the income tax form. Now, if you have any question, and apart from that, I have provided some tax planning tips, so you can save your some money. So now, if you have any question, any doubt, or I need some feedback, whatever chapter I have tried to mention in this particular book, whether it is relevant, and any example I have to share with you, whether it is good for you or whether common person, because I have written book for common person, they can understand in easy word income tax provision. So I need your feedback. So if it will be useful for me, because I can include, I can implement in my book. So thank you everyone, and I would like to request Savana ji to stop live sharing. And anyone has feedback, anyone has any discussion, any question, they can ask he or she